Welcome to this first developer experience review. In this review, I'm going to look at Twilio.com. This is the first time I'm doing a video of this kind, so please stick with me. I hope it's enjoyable, but I wanted to be a bit more open about my process and actually show the entire product in action. So in this video, I'm going to look at Twilio, and I'm going to look at three different parts. First off, I'm going to look at how easy it is to get an idea of what Twilio is and what Twilio does, and what, as a developer, how I would be using Twilio without actually logging in or signing up. Next up, we're going to look at the sign-up process and how we can go all the way from zero to first implementation. In this case, I'm going to focus on sending an SMS message. In the next step, I'm then going to look finally at the reference documentation to see how easy it is to see the exact arguments and response types that I would get when sending an SMS message or really making any API call. I'm using sending an SMS message here as an example of how this would work. So Twilio has a lot of different products. I mean, if you click on menu products here, there's a lot of different stuff here. I'm going to focus on their programmable SMS. And they've got a beautiful homepage, and they clearly are developer focused because they talk about a lot of different programming languages here. Although, to be honest, I only just noticed that here. I get a free API key, etc. But as you scroll further down, it becomes a lot more kind of business focused, kind of the right kind of keywords, etc. for SEO. And I'm guessing I'm just trying to figure out how to kind of get started. What would it look like for me to send an SMS message? There's a little thing here called Learn About the API, but to be honest, I didn't really quite see that. I'm probably going to click on messaging here. But that's very much a marketing page again. Lots of text, lots of stuff I'm not going to read. I see a bit of text here, text messaging, picture messaging. Okay, I clearly mean text messaging. That's really what I want. A bit about pricing, a bit more about what it does, who uses it. Again, no code here really. It's a bit disappointing. I see some links here at the top to the docs. I see a button here to sign up and start building. Again, that's a bit too early. I'm just trying to figure out what their API does. Oh, there's a button here called API. Now that is nice. I have to say, I've looked through the Twilio website quite a few times now, and this is the first time I actually saw that API link there. Oh, cool. I can actually send myself an SMS message as well. So let's look. Ruby. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. Pretty simple demo. Nicely syntax highlighted here. Clear Ruby code. Nothing hard. And I can actually send this. So I'm just going to try this. Let's give an international number. Let's see if I get an SMS. And yes, I did. I got tomorrow's forecast in financial district San Francisco is partly cloudy. So I got a weather update about a place that I do not live in. Okay, anyway, that works. There's a technical explanation. Interesting. Ooh, some more code snippets. Very useful. I'm starting to get an idea of how easy it would be to get started. So I guess I'm ready to start building. So let's sign up and start building. Cool. So my details. Password. Which product do you plan to use first? This is actually quite nice. I can specify what I'm going to do first. And the nice thing is they've actually just given you an option. I'm just exploring. In this case, I'm focusing on SMS, so let's focus on that. What am I building? Don't have a project in mind yet. Choose a language. Cool. I'm a Ruby guy, so I'm going to pick that. There we go. In this case, they want me to verify my phone number. Twilio, instead of verifying your text, your email address verifies your phone number. This is done for a couple of different reasons. One of them is that it makes it that you can start sending SMS messages even with a trial account. They give you some free credit without even having to without being able to spam anybody, because you can only spam yourself. You can only send messages to that number that you verified is your own number. I'm having some trouble here. Oh, there we go. I have to say the page is loaded a little bit slow, giving me the idea that it wasn't submitting, but it was. Welcome to the Twilio console. Set up, configure, and manage your application from here. Tour the console anytime from the question menu. Tour the console. All products. Ooh, navigation. Pin your favorite sections. Developer center. Okay, that's very cool. Console dashboard. Okay, awesome. So I can bring that up again by clicking the question. Interesting. What was interesting is that pop-up before and had a get started button. And if you click that get started button, it just closes the pop-up and doesn't actually get started. And similarly now, I seem to have to press the get started button here, which seems a bit redundant. I want to get started, so let's just get me started. Okay, here we go. First step, get a Twilio phone number. I'm not quite sure why I need a Twilio phone number, but that is explained on this page. It's for making and receiving phone calls. It's basically to be able to send a text message or a number, make a voice call. You actually need a number for this call to come from. Okay, they give you a sample number. I can pick a different one if I want to, but in this case I'm not that picky, so let's pick this one. Cool, my new phone number is that number. Awesome. Now, see, my personal number is already filled in here. I can only send messages to that verified number. I can upgrade to actually start sending to other ones. So let's send myself a hello world. And maybe have a look at the code. Okay. What is interesting here is that this code seems to be extremely generic. This code is not what is needed to do what is up here. This code does not have my account SID in it. It doesn't have my auth token in it. It doesn't have the to number, the from number, or the body text that I've just filled in here. And it would be quite trivial to actually make that happen. What's even weirder is that this seems to not be as nicely syntax highlighted as we saw earlier on. It's almost as if the advertisement material has gotten a bit more, a better treatment to the code than once we're actually logged in and we're actually getting started. This should be syntax highlighted. This could probably have my own phone number and my own API credentials in here. So in that case, I'm not going to use this. Although, let's copy this and start a test file. Let's paste this in and we'll come back to this later. Okay, so we make this request. Let's see if I receive a text message. Did I receive an hello world? Yes. The text message actually says sent from your Twilio trial account, which seems to make it a lot easier to recognize that this is still a trial account. Did I receive it? Yes. Cool. This is interesting. This should scroll up to that spot. There's some clearly using some JavaScript to show and hide elements, but they do need to make sure that it actually comes in here. Learn about our markup language, Twiml, and how it can be used to respond to SMS messages to your Twilio number. So this is a bit where if you send an SMS message from your phone to Twilio, to your Twilio number, you can specify what to do when that message comes in and how to reply. You do that by creating an endpoint with a bit of XML, TWIML, and you specify what messages to return. In this case, it seems to be very good at giving this kind of flow diagram to show you how that works, and they actually let you save this TWIML bin as an actual element on their server, so you don't actually have to spin up a server to get this started. So if I now reply to this text message, I should get test. So I texted test to this. Okay, and I got a nice hello from Twilio. Did you receive an SMS response? Yes, I did. Great, so I seem to be done. I can now go to the SMS tutorials, which seems to take me to more in-depth examples. What's interesting here is that they're quite complicated. They're directly like Ruby kind of Sinatra and Rails complete examples where I'm not sure sending an SMS message is necessarily something that requires an entire Sinatra framework. I mean, it's independent of Sinatra or Rails or anything like that, but at that point I'm kind of getting into details. So they do have very nice tutorials, but they take you step by step through the bits of code that matter, and they've got this beautiful kind of blurring out of the bits that you do not need. You can still look at it and copy paste it even, but it's not in focus. So let's see if I can actually write a sample myself. So I need my to number, so that needs to be in international format. Then my from number, let's skip that for a second. Let's set a hello world. I need an account SID. Oftentimes I need my credentials and I need a from number. Now, how do I find my number? Phone numbers. Here we go. Cool. So this seems to be my phone number. So let's copy paste that. It would be nice if they make that a bit easier to copy. Okay. Then I need my credentials. Where do I find my credentials? Oop, not what I wanted. Programmable SMS. Let's go back. Show API credentials. Not sure why that wasn't on the other page. That seems to be my account SID. Okay, let's paste that in. Oh, not like that. Like that. And then my auth token, which is this one. Just gonna paste in here. Cool. So let's start up a terminal and see if we can send this SMS message. That's text message. So let's see. So if I run ruby test.rb, that will tell me I need to install that gem. There we go. Let's try this again. Yeah, that all arrived perfectly. So finally, for the third bit, I'm going to look at the documentation and see if I can figure out exactly, based on this message sent, what exactly does this return? Because if we output the response from this, you'll see we'll get a Twilio REST message with a path. So it's kind of redirecting us to a message. So let's see if we can figure out, first of all, kind of what a message takes, what the parameters are that we can pass in, and then figure out if we can figure out what the response types exactly are. So let's go to the API docs. API reference. Sending SMS messages. So you make a call to an HTTP post endpoint. Of course, the Ruby library takes that away for us. Required parameters are 2, destination phone number, requires a plus and a country code. Awesome. Conditional parameters, all very much detail specified. Let's see what the response is. Doesn't quite say here. I mean, we can see the output here, and then the output kind of returns this kind of stuff. But it's a bit hard to see. This seems to be a message object, so I'm assuming if I go to resources and messages, I mean, that should be labeled a message object, or at least be linked to. There's a resource URI here for messages, accounts ID, messages, message ID, which I think if we look here is very similar. See, so that is indeed what we get back. We get a list of these items back. So if we look at output here again, we have things like nummedia. If I want to know what nummedia is, can we find that on this page? I'm not sure if we can. Oh, here we go. Differently. I'm guessing because there's an XML and there's an XML and a JSON format of this. So nummedia, the property indicates the number of media files associated with the message. Okay, so it's not completely impossible. I wish there was a link from that page to here. I wonder if we take a different route, if we go to SDKs. And let's say we go to the Ruby SDK. And we go and Twilio Ruby on GitHub. If this is a bit more clear, so setup work, how to configure it, send an SMS. Again, send an SMS, there's the examples here, but there's no links to where to find the responses or anything like that. Seems to be, I saw something about response.text. I wonder if that gives us more details. No, that didn't give us anything. Must have. Sorry, that's a Twilio response. I'm just trying to know what the output is of an actual API call. Anyway, not the most perfect kind of link up to the documentation, but not bad either. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.